Hi folks, my name is Tatiana. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Ethereal Entertainer. Today we're going to be doing some January 2023 predictions with some tarot cards for each astrological sign. This deck I'm featuring is the True Heart Intuitive Tarot by Rachel True. Absolutely love this deck. I got it as a gift for my birthday and I just had to share it with you. It's such a beautiful deck. Also, the book is very handy dandy. It has some pretty lengthy descriptions of the major arcana, different kinds of tarot card spreads that you can do. Very beginner friendly if you're looking for a first deck of yourself or just a deck in general. I highly recommend this one. Absolutely love it. So we're also going to be pulling an oracle card for this month's predictions of January 2023. The deck that I'm featuring, I featured in my readings for last month. It's called The Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. The guidebook is also very helpful. I love how she describes the cards and she includes soul inquiries and things like that. It's very cool. Help you tap into your high vibe self. So this bracelet I'm wearing is from my Etsy shop, The Ethereal Construct, made by yours truly. This bracelet features rhodonite, strawberry quartz, and matte crackle quartz beads. Feel free to check it out to see if you can find yourself some metaphysical jewelry to help you bring in the new year with great vibes and set good intentions. Yeah, let's get started. Alrighty, so we're going to start with your sun card placement. So Leo, we have the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card that has to do with planting seeds and seeing them come into fruition. You see in the depiction, this woman is pregnant and she's tilling the soil. You see that the pentacles are in the sky, maybe resemblance of the sun or just different elements at play that are going to help with bringing what she's carrying into the world. And this is good because we're at our creative phase. You know, we're in our creative phase right now where we're able to, you know, put our thoughts into something and make something material right now. And it's looking like now it's just pretty much you've planted the seeds, you've put in the work, and now you just have to wait for the results to show up. And, you know, sometimes we can get a little impatient with that and stuff, but this is showing that, you know, things are coming in a timely manner. So there's not necessarily a reason to be impatient because it's all coming in good timing. And you know this because you've probably have been preparing for this. You've been planning for it. You have, you know, you have an idea of what things are looking like for yourself. You know, you have, you know, things going by quarter, by season, by week, by day, by month, you know, but you have things planned out and you have things, you know, laid out for yourself. And this card is recognition of that. It's recognition of you knowing what you're wanting and knowing what you're trying to bring into fruition, putting in the work, putting in the effort, and now it's just time for you to wait for those things to come up. So, you know, you should be proud of yourself. You know, like this, the thing is that it's important to acknowledge where you are in every stage of your journey and to be willing to be proud of yourself, to recognize where you are and to applaud yourself. So, you know, like for example, maybe you are expecting, you know, and you're pregnant at this time. That's something that you should be so proud of for yourself for, because, you know, it's not an easy task. It is not in any way, shape, or form easy to bring things forth from one realm to the next. And that's what childbirth is all about, from bringing things from existing in another realm to bringing it into this one. And that's what you're doing. You may not necessarily be pregnant physically, but you are, in the manifestation phase, you are pregnant with what it is that you're trying to, or you are bringing into the material realm very soon. That's really cool, and I'm really happy for you. Honestly, I think that it's fantastic, and it's a great way to start off a new year. So I applaud you. Kudos to you for that. That's really cool. So now getting into your moon placement, we have the Empress card in the reversal position. So in the upright position, this has to do essentially with the divine feminine energy. This is love, this is joy, this is fertility. But when it's in this upside down position, we may be struggling with that. You may be struggling with feeling loved, struggling with feeling like you're able to be emotionally satisfied and gratified. And you may be struggling with fertility. Maybe not necessarily with fertility with, trying to become pregnant or in the womb, which is kind of funny because these two cards are next to each other. But it may not necessarily be about pregnancy in the literal form, but in, the figurative form, that you have been trying to plant seeds for something, you have been trying to cultivate something, and you just aren't seeing the results that you want. You aren't seeing things come into fruition like you had planned or like you had visioned and hoped for. And this Empress in reverse card is acknowledging that sentiment, that energy that is, that you're dealing with right now. And it's okay. That's the thing too, is that's part of the journey as well. Some of the seeds that we plant don't sprout. And that doesn't mean that you're a bad gardener. That just means that you've got to plant another seed. Or maybe, you planted the seed, it germinated, and then it just got a little too hot and it burnt up your pretty little seedling. That just means you have to change your approach, change your methodology, so that when your seeds germinate, when your seedlings are coming out of the ground, you can see them come from seedlings to a full-on tree. And this may look like having a different approach to, however you have been dealing with things. Maybe you've been using the usual way of, planning things out, or, you have a specific process that you have been using for a particular amount of time, and maybe time to switch it up to see different results, see better results. And sometimes, things work for a while and then they don't, they become obsolete, and that's okay. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means that we have to adapt. So when we have this Empress card in reverse, this really has to do with adaptation to our circumstances, so that we can feel the things that we want to feel and see the things come into fruition that we are trying to manifest. So this may look like you might be sticking around in a situation or circumstances with people that don't make you feel loved, that don't allow your seeds to grow. This may be your card because it's time for you to realize that your circumstances don't allow you to grow and blossom like you want to, and that you may need to change those circumstances. You may need to boot some people out of your life. You may need to consider, moving to a different job, or saying something about a hostile work environment, or, trying a different method of discipline with your kids. Maybe you've been, doing timeouts, and maybe you're just like, what, I'm tired of this. At this point, I'm ready to make these kids write sentences. It can apply to so many different things, because the Empress card is a major arcana card. It is a chapter book type of card, rather than the minor arcana have to do with more so paragraphs, pages, sentences within our book of our life. So don't be afraid to change it up, and acknowledge that you may not be feeling very good right now, that you may not be seeing the results that you want. You may not be feeling the love that you want to feel. You may be feeling unhappy. You can do something about that, though. don't be afraid to do something about it, because you deserve to be happy. And once you do that, your Empress card will be flipped in the right side up position, and I bet you'll feel fantastic about it. Okay, so we're going to get into the rising placement for you, Leo. We have the Two of Wands in the reverse position. So in the upright position, this has to do with honing our magic. You know, the wand is essentially the bearer of magic, and in that sense, that has to do with our willpower, with our drive, with our ability to tap into our intuition and use it to propel us forward, right? So with this card being in the reverse position, there is some struggle with that right now. So you may be, you know, not feeling very confident in your ability to achieve something. You may be feeling, you know, low energy. It's kind of hard for you to get up and get going. You may feel like, you know, you might be a little spacey. You might be a little bit out of it right now. You know, like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. You know, I'm not really feeling like this is gonna work. This plan or this idea or this, you know, relationship, or, you know, fill in the blank. You may be feeling disconnected from, you know, the results that you thought you wanted before. And maybe it's because the thing is that the options are not necessarily what you were looking for. Maybe you've chosen or you have made a decision and you don't feel very good about it anymore. That happens. You know, sometimes we make decisions and we're like, oh, this isn't really quite what I'm feeling. This isn't really quite for me. It's okay to say that, and it's okay to realize that, and to say, hey, this is not working for me. I need to do something else. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge it, because then you can move around and you can find something that makes you feel good and energized and empowered again. Also, too, you may be feeling this way because you have something that you want to do, but you don't know how to go about it. You know, sometimes it's like, dude, I have this grandiose idea. Like, I know that there's something amazing that can come of this, but I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to start. And sometimes that can get overwhelming, and that can be scary enough to be like, oh yeah, this isn't gonna work. There's way too many factors that go into this, and I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the fill in the blank. Start small. Take it one thing at a time, one day at a time. You know, start with the things that you can control, that you can handle, that you do have the resources to deal with. You'll figure those other things out along the way, but don't be afraid, and don't let that deter you from what you want. You know, if all you have is a pen and paper, then maybe it's time for you to pick up the pen and paper and to write out a plan. You know, write out a business model or a business plan, or, you know, get on Google or something and figure out how to create a plan of attack for what it is that you want. This will help you feel confident about what you're trying to achieve and give you direction. You know, it's easy to feel discouraged when you feel like you have lack of direction, you know, and this may be the card indicating that. You don't feel motivated, you don't feel like you have the drive because you don't have a plan yet. You don't have any trajectory that you feel, you know where you're going. When we know where we're going, we move with confidence. If you don't know where you're going, you know, you're not moving with confidence, and you may not want to move at all, you know. So that happens, and it's okay, but you definitely don't want to stay there for too long, because after a while you're just going to find yourself regretting that you never did anything, regretting that you never took a chance, you never started somewhere, started today, started at some point, because the time is going to go by anyway. So you might as well do it. You might as well start small. All the small things add up to bigger things. 4 quarters make a dollar, but so do 100 pennies. You know, think about that one. All right, Leo, now we're going to get into your oracle card for the month of January. We're going to read the description that comes in the guidebook, as well as soul inquiry. Temple of the Rose. Ancient power, expression, activation, scarlet codes. For millennia, feminine power, expression, and wisdom have been suppressed. As a result, the feminine has been silenced, dismissed, and disrespected. We've become disconnected from the earth, the mother, and have stopped revering our elders. But times are finally changing, and we're all part of this change. Every time we honor our body, express our wisdom, share our voice, and connect with our sensuality, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we call back our power, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we come together in circle, we heal the sacred thread of the feminine. Every time we honor our cyclic nature and the cycles of nature, we heal the sacred thread of our feminine. Regardless of which gender you identify with, if any, this is a card of calling back your power. It's a card of expressing your truth, no matter what it is. It's a card of sharing your soul's voice and singing the song that you came here to sing. This is a card of activation. It's a call to action, and it's a remembrance. You're the child of the ancient goddess. As you express yourself, you express for all who could not. As you reclaim your power, you do so for all those who cannot. Each shackle you break through, you free those who are yet to come. Share your voice, sing your song, dance your dance, reclaim your power. This is what you came here for. Soul Inquiry. How are you being called to call back your power, express your truth, or honor the cyclic nature within? I think this all goes back to the cards that we've pulled. These are very, the sun and moon placement cards are very divine feminine energy cards for sure. And also the rising placement has to do with our magic, our ability to, be driven and to follow our drive, follow our passion, and go for what we want. And the rising moon, sun placements, they're all indicative of you being part of being in some place of that process. Acknowledge it and, really lean into it and be willing to accept that who you are is important. Be willing to accept that you expressing yourself, that you being who you are and leaning into whatever your passions are and going for it is good for you, and it's good for everyone. It's good for the world. It's good for the universe. Believe that, because it's true. It's very true. Happier people make for a happier world. Abundant people make for an abundant world. Loving people make for a loving world. So don't be afraid to move through your trials and your tribulations, and to be happy and to embrace it when you are. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. I hope that you got something really great from this reading, and that January and the entire year of 2023 is good to you. Please hit that notification bell and subscribe so we can come back again next month and do it all over again. Thank you. Bye.